happening, guys? So we're here, finally here for the match preview of the biggest game so far this season for Arsenal. Yeah? Arsenal versus Man City, EFL Cup final, Carabao Cup final, League Cup final, however you want to call it. Yeah? It's the English Football League Cup final weekend. Yeah? Sunday at 4:30 at Wembley Stadium. Yeah? Arsenal will be appearing in their 11th EFL Cup final. 2-time winners, 8-time runners-up. Yeah? Yeah, it's the worst record of all teams that won it, but, you know, this is a chance to put right from how it went possibly wrong the last time we were in this cup final, which was 2018, when we got smoked by Man City 3-0. Yeah? Is it going to be revenge or repeat? Yeah? This time, it's Arteta who's the manager for Arsenal. Yeah? And, you know, what's been pointed out enough times is that Arteta's unbeaten at Wembley as a player and a manager. I don't want to go into that too much because we know that records can come to an end. Yeah. Either way, something's getting broken because Pep's never lost an EFL Cup final. Yeah, when he started winning the EFL Cup, which was against Arsenal, where it started, he won it 4 times on the trot. Yeah. One final that Pep hasn't lost for Man City is the EFL Cup. Yeah. We've seen him lose FA Cup finals. We've seen him lose a Champions League final. But he's never lost in the EFL Cup final. Yeah. And this is the first trophy up for grabs. Yeah. This is a chance for Arsenal to lay it down. Yeah. Lay down the marker. Yeah. This is the title decider, in my opinion. Everybody keeps talking about we need to go to it's the Etihad game, mate. Nope, it's this game. Yeah. 1960 was the last time that an EFL Cup final was played between the top two. That was the last time it was played. That was the last time it was played between the top two. This is why I said y'all haven't seen a cup final like this. Y'all haven't seen it. Yeah. So unless you're older than 66, yeah, y'all ain't seen an EFL Cup final like this. The top two in the league fighting for the EFL Cup, the first trophy that comes round. You know what I mean? All the other EFL Cup finals prior to this one have been dry. Yeah? Didn't have substance to it. It was just a one-sided affair, really. It's like, well, you know what I mean? You already knew who were going to win it before they did it. And then, you know, two bit of surprises and shocks here and there. You know what I mean? But y'all ain't seen one like this. Now, I've said before, if we win this EFL Cup on Sunday, I'm having chest that we're winning the league. However, if we don't, then, you know, then nothing changes in terms of what I believe. It's because, you know, I'm not so sure. I'm not 100%. Let's just say I'm not 100% on us still winning the league this season. But if we win that EFL Cup, then I believe that we'll win the league. Yeah, because if Man City win that cup, that could turn around their season. Yeah, this is the club that's been there and done that. Yeah, in recent times. Yeah, this could revive Man City if they were to win it. But then if we win it, it could sink the ship, yeah, of Man City. And then the Sharks will get them, yeah? And then we can push on. Because I do believe if we win this cup, yeah, I do believe the gap in the table will start to increase. Some might say it might spur Man City on to try and win the league. Like they might go unbeaten. If Man City were to lose this cup final on Sunday, they might go on a mad unbeaten run. Yeah. For the rest of the season. And you know, we might not necessarily go on the same unbeaten run. And it might get to a point where it means that Man City might possibly win it. You never know. I still think that if we win this cup on Sunday, we're winning the league. I believe that the gap would increase, and it's going to make Man City lose to a bit of composure. That's personally what I think. Yeah, the expectations, y'all know how the expectations is. We're in a cup final. Yeah, I expect this season. I expect the league and the league title, the League Cup and league title. You know what I mean? Big game at Wembley. I mean, this is my first time since I rebranded this channel in early 2023, because I've actually had this channel since 2019. I kind of wish that I never got rid of my old videos now, though, even though I do have some of them in my archives in my Google Photos. Even the match reaction to when we won the FA Cup, I still got that. But yeah, this is it. Otherwise, it's the first time I'm doing a match preview for a cup final. If we're not counting the Community Shield that we got in by default, even though it shouldn't have been us in that after City won the treble, it should have been Man United. But yeah, this is cup final, Wembley Stadium. Arsenal fans are finally getting a day out. You know what I mean? Finally getting a day out. I'm going to be in London over this weekend, all weekend. I'm going to be in London, and I'm going to be watching the final in Fan Park in Shoreditch. And honestly, we must. I mean, 2007 got beat by Chelsea in Cardiff. Walcott's gone his first goal for the club. We go and lose 2-1 to Chelsea. 2011 lost 2-1 to Birmingham. Yeah. A goalkeeper / centre-back error. It was Koscielny's fault anyway. At Birmingham, who we already beaten twice that season, by the way, beat us 2-1. I just knew when walking out, when the players walked out, that cup final, I knew we weren't going to win it. I could tell by the players' faces, the way we were playing. Birmingham was just putting everything into that final, and yeah, they ended up winning it. 2018, I was actually going to go to the 2018 final. I was actually going to go to it. It would have cost me £200 for the ticket, but I was going to go. And then I just saw the form we were in leading up to that final, and I thought to myself, I'm looking at Man City. They're blowing teams away leading up to that final, and we're struggling leading up to that final. I'm not going all the way down to from Yorkshire to Wembley to watch them get beat, like how I knew they would. I mean, I slightly regret not going just for the experience, but nah, I knew we were going to get beat. I knew we were going to get beat like that. And I watched the video today of the EFL Cup final goals since 2018, and obviously the 2018 Cup final was the first one up, and just how spineless we looked. And I thought to myself, Gabriel Saliba wouldn't have this. You know what I mean? That's what gives me hope about Sunday. I mean, the spineless performance from us back in 2018. You know what I mean? Surely it's not going to be like that now. You know what I mean? The last time we won this competition, I was 3 years old. Yeah? We've been to 4 finals since. Yeah? 2007, 2011, 2018, and now this one. But yeah, when it comes to the EFL Cup, there's been like two bit of goofiness in terms of. I'm not talking about any like us. I'm not talking about in general. You know, this season was the first time since 1993 when we won it, that we had won our away leg fixture in the semi-finals. So 2007 Cup final, we didn't win away at Spurs in the semi-final. that season. 2011, when we got to the final, we lost at Ipswich away from home in the away leg. 2018 semi-final against Chelsea, we drew at Stamford Bridge. But this time, we beaten Chelsea both legs. So we got our first away win in the away leg of the semi-final of the EFL Cup since we won it. So if that's going to be, if that's going to tell me anything, maybe we're finally going to win it. Maybe, you know what I mean? The period of 2007 to 2013, barring 2009, the goofiness, and I've pointed this out before. Y'all have heard me point this out. Some of you that will know about it. I've seen him do it. Yeah, the team that won the EFL Cup. I'm sorry, the team that were runners up in the EFL Cup. Their rivals won it the year after. So 2007, we lost the EFL Cup final to Chelsea. Yeah. 2008, Tottenham won it. 2010, Aston Villa were runners up to the EFL Cup to Man United. 2011, Birmingham won it. 2012, Cardiff City were runners up to Liverpool in the cup final. 2013, Swansea won it. You know what I mean? But one thing I will point out though is it seems like the pattern took a little bit of a gap, because 2014 Sunderland were runners up, which should have meant 2015, going by that pattern, that Newcastle would win it. But instead, Newcastle won it 10 years later, 2025. 2016 EFL Cup final. 2015 EFL Cup final. Spurs was the runner-up. Head over to 2026. Arsenal are in the cup final now. So maybe it's our time. You know what I mean? Maybe it's our time. I think we'll win it. I personally think we'll beat Man City. Now, originally, I had it down as we'd draw 1-1 on the night and beat Man City on penalties, because I can't see us beating Man City inside 90 minutes or 120 minutes. But based on what I've seen recently, our last 2 games or so, or last 3 games of us, I'm having a stronger belief that we'll actually win this game without needing penalties, at least in 90 minutes, but at most in 120 minutes. So my score prediction for this final is I'm going with Arsenal 2, Manchester City 0. I am taking a bit of a risk here, predicting that we'll keep a clean sheet, simply because of the occasion. You know what I mean? This is this lot's first cup final, but I would like to believe, yeah, because this is one thing, and I guarantee nobody else on their match previews of this has spoke about what I'm about to speak about right now. Yeah. I know people don't rate the Community Shield. Yeah. I don't know how far the players see it. I know there'll be players that will, have some sort of say. But I don't want to say that it's the same thing. But majority of these man already know what it's like to play in front of a crowd at Wembley Stadium against Man City. Yeah. And let me just give you guys context of this. Yeah. These men have played at Wembley against Man City in a Community Shield, coming off the back of bottling the league title, having been 8 points clear and top of the league for 93% of the season. City, who kicked us out the FA Cup and beat us 3 times, including that, in the league that season, picked us to the league title, won the FA Cup on our head top, because they kicked us out of the FA Cup, and obviously they won the Champions League. Yeah. So literally, these players playing that Community Shield, literally, that was the only thing. If you're going to take anything away from Man City, at least take that from them. Yeah. Because how bad would it have looked if Man City had then beaten us in a Community Shield that season, following off what they did to us in 2023? So that was huge, yeah, that the players beat Man City, albeit it was on penalties, but it was huge that the players, because I don't think we played that bad in that game. It's just we were a bit toothless up front, but it was huge that the players got over the line in that sense. So with that, I would assume that having had that under your belt, it would kind of make this a little bit easier to deal with, this cup final on Sunday. Yeah? Because having bottled the league the way we did in 2023, and then we had to start the season off in a Community Shield with Man City, that's a whole reset. You start all over again. Just think about the psychological side of all this. So that's why I'm looking at Sunday and I'm thinking, no, I'm assuming it shouldn't be that bad. Plus, you've got players that come in, Zubamende, Mosquera, Gyökeres, Madueke. On top of this, there should be no room for panic. So I'm going with a 2-0 win. I do think we'll win this cup final. Hence, I must be saying I think we'll win the league, but I'm only thinking we'll win the league if we were to win this cup. And it's still a possibility that we might not. Would I be shocked if we lost this cup final? No, I wouldn't. Yeah. If we get to the FA Cup final this season, I'd be more shocked if we were to lose that. Yeah. But as for the EFL Cup, our record in this competition is not good. But I've always said before, if Arteta can get us to a cup final, I do believe he'll win the cup final of whatever it is. You guys will win on Sunday. I could see an Arsenal double this season, Premier League and League Cup. Well, yeah. I mean, I do think we'll win on Sunday. But you know, people will say I'm negative and everything like that. I can't be negative if I'm saying I think we'll win a cup. You know what I mean? But yeah, and if we win the league, I think the league is ours. I mean, because that's what we're going to need. We're going to need a cup to our name. You know what I mean? Evening, bro. It should be a good game. Both teams going to go for it. No low blocks. Yeah, and you know what that could mean? That could mean it could mean a higher scoring game for all we know. But I don't think it'll be a high scoring game, in all fairness. But yeah, it's well, speaking of no low blocks, you look at the way Man City played at Emirates. They panicked after being 1-0 up at half time. So you never know. 2-0, wild bold prediction. Yeah, initially it was 1-1 and Arsenal win on penalties. Was initially what I was going with. That was my original scoreline prediction. But I'm going with 2-0. I'm going with 2-0. And I hope I'm right, man. I'm worried about City because Guardiola can't wait until his bald Pratt leaves the Premier League so it can be level playing field in the Premier League. And anybody worried about City, I understand it because these men have got a track record of doing what they do. You know what I mean? And records come to an end, and somebody's going to end the record. Either Arteta is going to lose for the first time ever at Wembley, or Guardiola is going to lose his first EFL Cup final ever. You know what I mean? When you look on paper, City's form ain't that great, so and our form's good, but form goes out the window when it comes to a cup final. And these Man City already have it in their books that they've beaten us in a cup final. And usually teams don't really get that much revenge like that. You know what I mean? For example, we beat Chelsea in the 2002 FA Cup final. Yeah. We didn't face them in an FA Cup final until 2017. You know what I mean? That was their chance to get revenge for 2002. Couldn't do it. We faced them again in 2020 in the FA Cup final. They could have got revenge for 2017 and 2002. Couldn't do it. Teams don't really get revenge. The only time was Liverpool. Liverpool got revenge on Chelsea when because obviously Liverpool lost the FA Cup finals to Chelsea in 2012, but in 2022, 10 years later, Liverpool did beat them on penalties in the FA Cup. So Liverpool got that revenge on Chelsea. Otherwise, usually when teams if they're facing each, 1990, Man United won the FA Cup against Crystal Palace. 2016 was a chance for Crystal Palace to get revenge on that. Man United still beat them. You know what I mean? That's why I said to my friends, I said this ages ago. If we face Liverpool in the FA Cup final, they'll probably beat us. You know what I mean? It's probably just one of them goofy things. You know what I mean? We could beat Chelsea in FA Cup finals all day, but put us in an EFL Cup final or a European final with them, we'll lose. And that's what they've shown us. You know what I mean? So this is either repeat or revenge for 2018. We'll have to see though. Big up to Rod. Big up to all yous in the chat. Big up to all of yous. I've got a feeling they will go full out attack against us and leave opening spaces. In all fairness, I'm not quite sure. I've got a feeling there's going to be a bit of a park in the bus from Man City. They've got no Gahey because he's ineligible. Vardiol's injured. Diaz is not the same. I think Stones is still injured, I think Nathan Ake is he injured? You know. So yeah, we'll have to see what City turns up. You know what I mean? But apparently James Trafford's going to be playing in goal. I've got a feeling that he's going to play Donnarumma. You know, I've got a feeling he's going to throw him in. And I'll get onto our starting 11 in a minute. Will you go to the parade in May if we win the league? Oh yeah, we'll try and find my way to go, man. Because it's going to be hard to see anything. You know what I mean? You have to camp out there all night, but I ain't prepared to be camping out in the streets all night. I ain't gonna lie. If we get to the final in the Champions League by scamming it, will you try and get tickets? I mean, it's not that easy for me to just get up and go to Budapest. But I'll definitely go to a fan park like I am on Sunday, at least. You know what I mean? Man City did smash it 3-0 under Wenger final. Basically made them dominate the league to come, yeah? Hopefully we can get revenge and then we'll start dominating the league to come. You know what I mean? But for that to happen in Wenger's last season, that's the heaviest defeat he's took in a cup final, Wenger. You know what I mean? That was the heaviest. You know what I mean? I would have thought, oh, maybe Wenger's last season, he finally leaves with winning the EFL Cup being the what? He would have joined Kenny Dalglish and Jose Mourinho, Sir Alex Ferguson at the time of winning all the domestic cups. If he'd have won that EFL Cup, Wenger. That was the only domestic trophy he never won. But you just want to be. You know what I mean? On top of that, we'd beaten Guardiola at Wembley before that in the FA Cup semi-final the season before. But then when it came to facing him again, we were just toothless. You know what I mean? To be honest, now I don't think losing this final would stop us winning the league. Now the gap is where it is on the table. What I saw last weekend showed me enough to believe now we'll win it anyway. I don't know, you know. I mean, quite a lot of people think that. Quite a lot of people think that if we were to lose this final, it doesn't change anything in the league. I beg to differ. I think that if we lose this final, I think we're going to lose composure. That's personally what I think. I mean, I know this ain't the same team as 2011, but I just remember in 2011, we were in a similar kind of position where we were in a title race. We got to the EFL Cup final. And then when we lost, we absolutely, completely folded. We completely folded after that. You could tell that it was still on the players' minds. Obviously, it was Birmingham and it was like last minute, basically. But you know what I mean? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But we still must win that cup, yeah. I think we will as well. I honestly think we will. And I actually want our first title in 22 years to be with Pep still in the league to show we can do it with him still being there. Yeah. Going for 2-1. I've gone for 2-0, which is a bit risky. But yeah, I'm a Liverpool fan, and what I do find interesting is that somehow you haven't beaten us this season. I do feel we can meet again one more time this season. I know out of all teams that have handed it to Liverpool, we haven't touched them. I hope if we get to that final in Budapest, I hope it's against Liverpool. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? Because Liverpool fans have been giving it too much recently. Yeah. And they're the ones quickest to give it about, oh, we've won Champions League so many times, blah, blah, blah. Imagine being that club that gives Arsenal their first. You won't want to be that club. You don't want to be an English club losing the Champions League final to Arsenal, giving us our first. You don't want to be that. Because you'll never live it down. That'd be worse than losing a final to Tottenham with the way everybody talks to us about, oh, European Cups, mate. You know what I mean? I hope the final could have been tomorrow because now got to think about it all work. Well, think about it all weekend. Dalman in the final has to make an appearance. That's providing depending on how the game goes. If it's a tight 0-0, tight 1-1, tight 1-0 to us, you know what I mean? Max Dalman probably gets introduced. Now I'm hearing word on the streets that Timber and Odegaard could be in contention. I do not want to see Odegaard start this final. I don't even want to see him come on in the final. Yeah. I don't even want to see that. Yeah. So if this manager's got anything about him, he's going to leave things how they are. If we lose it, it could trigger a collapse in the league. That's what I'm thinking. Wenger banter era team was very fragile mentally. Yeah. Man City fans' excuses after the final will say that they are in transition season, but before December, they were saying they're ready to compete on all fronts. In all fairness, if Man City lose this final, I think I don't think there's much excuses they could come out with because their recent form, if they were to lose on Sunday, their recent form kind of warmed them up to it. It wouldn't be just a sudden sucker punch. You know what I mean? But if we lose, then all we'll say is, well, but we're concentrating on the league anyway. That's what we'll say. You know what I mean? It's almost getting to a point where Man City winning this cup final will mean more to them just because of what's going on with them in the league and everything like that. Like they need this to revive themselves because plenty of people have the belief that if we were to lose this final, it won't change anything in the league, which to me means that if Man City win it, then it will feel like it's everything to them. You know what I mean? Man United drawing against Bournemouth from penalty and an own goal. Hope Ahmad can see this team need to scam wins and they're very lucky this season. Oh, did it finish a draw? 2-2. Who got sent off for Man United? Maguire. For roughing. Apparently on 81 minutes. So Man United were winning 2-1. Oh dear. That guy's not going to get a haircut, is he? He ain't going to get a haircut, is he? Yeah. Man City would. Man United won 4 in a row after the loss. Obviously, when Carrick came in, won 4 in a row, then drew against West Ham, then won 2 on a spin, lost against Newcastle United, then won against Villa, then drew against Bournemouth. So they got Leeds United next, then Chelsea, then Brentford, then Liverpool, then Sunderland, then Forest, then Brighton. Let me see the standings. Well, Villa can't do anything this weekend anyway. Even if they win, they ain't leapfrogging Man United. But Man United could have done with that win because they'd have been on 57 points. They'd have been like what? 8 points clear of Liverpool. You know what I mean? Actually, no. 49. Oh, yeah, the six clear of yeah. Yeah, so they would have been 8 clear of Liverpool if they'd have won tonight. Jesus. Forgot about that game as well. Apparently a very contentious decision on the Bournemouth penalty. Oh wow, didn't even know United were playing tonight. Yeah, the 8 o'clock kickoff. I forgot all about it. I knew they were playing, but then I forgot. You know, I didn't check the scores or anything when I came on stream. YG can't wait till next season when United found out next season. We saw how Barca destroyed Newcastle. With United bad defense, it would be a cricket score. Well, it's gonna be interesting with them. Obviously, they're going for this purple patch right now. You know what I mean? They're dealing with 1 game a week, and they're not playing for 24 days now. Nearly a month until they next play their games. YG, you said earlier about potentially meeting us in the Champions League final. It would be a miracle if we made it, considering we've got PSG next. I wouldn't. I know PSG is not going to be easy, but I think you lot are in a position now where I think you'll throw the kitchen sink at the Champions League now, because I don't think you'll beat City in the FA Cup, which means the Champions League is the only thing you've got left. If that scenario plays out, and I think you'll throw it all on that. I think PSG, they just need somebody to stick it on them from start to finish, especially at their ground. And if you can go to their ground and stick it on them and get some, they have to come back to Anfield, because I'm assuming that I think the second leg's at Anfield, isn't it? They would have to come back to Anfield, you know, and try and do something, and yeah. But we'll have to see with that. But yeah, as for Sunday, you know, we're unbeaten in what, 6 games against Man City now. Let me just have a look at the head-to-heads. I cannot wait for this final one. Obviously, Man City haven't beaten us for, but yeah, Man City's last 5 games looking a bit goofy, innit? They've drawn 2 and lost 2 of the last 5, winning 1. Arsenal won 4 of the last 5, drawing 1. But yeah, so the last 5 times we played Man City, we drew 1-1 last time. Before that, we smoked them 5-1. Before that, we drew 2-2 at the Etihad. Before that, we drew 0-0 at the Etihad. And before that, we won 1-0 at the Emirates. So then before that, we beat them on penalties in the Community Shield. So yeah, it's basically before that Community Shield, they were steamrolling us. You know what I mean? They were beating us in all types of competitions and everything. In all comps, they were beating us. Beating us in FA Cups. Actually, well, beat us 1-0 in the FA Cup last time. Faced them in the FA Cup. But EFL Cup, you know, they were just like, fam. Just proper putting it on us. What was that one? Oh yeah, that was the extra time. Yeah. 2017 FA Cup semi-final. Yeah. So Alexis Sanchez and that. So yeah, it's been a while since Man City have beaten us, but yeah, like we must someday. We must. Saw a video of someone talking about what you have before in someone talking about what you have before in Arteta having that epiphany moment after getting slaughtered 4-1 by them in April. He changed his approach ever since he did. He did. You know what I mean? We've been petrified to concede that many goals since. But with that, we've treated everybody like they were going to do that to us since then. But credit to him, you know, we're defensively solid. You know what I mean? It's rare we can see 3 goals now, kind of thing. But at the same time, you can't be going into games treating Wolves like the Real Madrid. You know what I mean? There's got to be levels to this. You know what I mean? You'll be just fine on Sunday. Take the League Cup and try and see how far you guys get to becoming immortal, like we tried a few years back. Yeah, like you lot was so close that season. Literally, just one game in the Premier League and the Champions League final. You would have had the quad. You know what I mean? Like, and even that season, I was thinking, you know what? I'll let Liverpool do it because I don't want to see Man City do it. You know what I mean? And you lot were close. You lot were so close. You know what I mean? But to come away with 2 as it is, that was still good in itself. But you know, we'll just see how we'll have to see how we get on. I mean, obviously, personally, if we win the EFL Cup, I do think we'll win the league title. If we get back to Wembley by beating Southampton in the FA Cup and get back to Wembley in the semi-finals, I do think we'll go on and win the FA Cup. So that's a domestic treble that I'd be tipping us to win. As for the Champions League, I'll be pushing it if I'm saying that we'd take that on top of those. But if we did, boy, fam, I'd probably retire from bantering. There's nobody able to touch me ever again. But I don't want to think that far ahead. First of all, we need to get Sunday out of the way. You know what I mean? We need to Sunday. You know what I mean? Liverpool and Arsenal doing the Prem, proud in Europe. We could get 5 Champions League places. And you've got Crystal Palace that's still in Europe, Aston Villa and Forest that's still in Europe. I reckon Aston Villa will probably get to that Europa League final, you know. That was the moment he can't beat Pep at his own game and had to have his own approach. But yeah, same time made him too scared. In sort of games now, go for the killer blow. One thing you give Arteta credit for is in Europe, at least we're not backed into an agreement. Yeah. And this is what I mean. Obviously, you have people that, you know, won't view Wenger the same way as I am doing. But man had us getting slaughtered in the Champions League. Wenger had us in the Champions League getting slaughtered so much, I didn't want to be in the Champions League anymore. I remember even saying back then, yeah, I want Europa League because Champions League is just not it. We ain't doing anything in it. And lo and behold, when we were in Europa League under Wenger, he got us to a semi-final in his last season, didn't he? Which goes to show, with the team that he had, was suitable for the Europa League, not the Champions League. You know what I mean? Because the year after, Unai Emery took that team to a Europa League final. You know what I mean? But credit where credit's due for Arteta, yeah. He has built a team that's better suited for the Champions League. He has. It's just now, will you be the first Arsenal manager in history to win us the European Cup? Will you achieve that? Yeah? Because I'm telling you, like I said before, if he wins the Champions League, yeah, if he wins it, He deserves a statue, and I'll help you build it. Yeah, because no other Arsenal manager managed to do that. No other Arsenal manager has managed to do that. Yeah. So, and if he wins it as part of multiple trophies as well, even better. I mean, like I said, I know there's a big thing with Arteta ins and outs and Arsenal fans imploding. But like I said, if Arteta gets over the line, he's doing what we asked. Yeah. And we will sing his praises. Yeah. And like I said, and you all heard me. Yeah.
I've seen him do it.
I might even flip flop.
Flip flop is your shit.
I already said this. Article Jamie made a very good comment. Arteta couldn't copy City and Liverpool to get to top, so he went a Simeone way, and it looks like it can get us over the line. Yeah, let's just see. Let's just see on Sunday if it does. Yeah, let's just see on Sunday, because that, like I said, that for me is a title decider. Sunday's game is a title decider, in my opinion. Whoever wins that, you know what I mean, is winning the league, in my opinion. United bottled their game. Yeah, I heard about it. I feel petty for Wenger. He didn't have the money, good players to get to City and Chelsea for the money. You could see it in two ways, but I'm sorry. Wenger was the manager that was here at Arsenal when Leicester won the league on his head top. I can't forgive that. I can't forgive that. You know what I mean? After all what's been going on, Chelsea came in, Mourinho came in, won league titles and competed with Man U and everything. Then City came in and did it. And then when it should have been your time, Leicester was the one that ended up doing it. You know what I mean? I'm not fussed about our style because I got tired of playing good football and getting slapped. Yeah, Chelsea was the most successful team and they played pragmatic. Yeah, like the Chelseas and the Man Cities, these man got the asses handed to. And the question I have for their fans is this the football you enjoy? Because when we're playing to not get beat like that, it's a problem. You know what I mean? But granted, we don't like the stinkiness of the football because we've seen how it's cost us in certain games. But at the same time, you know, we're asking for, show me your intent on puncturing through these teams and not being so scared. If we get the first trophy, don't be surprised that others are coming fast and quick every season. Well, I should hope so. If Arteta can win with this team that he's built, that he's assembled now, I should hope that these men won't know how to stop winning trophies. I should hope. Wenger was smart enough to still win his titles. His arrogance, his downfall. He had too much power at the club after Dean left. I mean, he did win his FA Cups, but the whole getting panned in Europe and everything like that, man, that was just embarrassing. Leicester stopped both Northumberland clubs from winning the league back in 2016. That's crazy. Also, Chelsea played their part in the battle of the bridge. I mean, yeah, it's every time I even think about 2016, I just think all I've got in my head is Leicester. You know what I mean? Like we literally just need to. We really need this trophy on Sunday, man. I'm telling you, we really need this trophy. We really need it, man. Honestly, we really need it, and trust me, like it is going off if we were to beat them on Sunday. I mean, if we were to beat them on Sunday, it is going off. I'm telling you. If we win the League Cup final, we'll probably go on an unbeaten winning run. I don't see us losing no more than one game in the Premier League the rest of the season if we were to win this cup. I'd only see us losing one game, and it might be like a Bournemouth at home, some goofiness like that. You know what I mean? It might be the case of we draw the Etihad or something, but if we were to lose one game, it might. I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't think we'll lose like 2-3 games for the rest of the season if we were to win that cup. You know what I mean? I don't. I think we're going to win the league, and we'll go on a relatively unbeaten run. Do you feel we'll get through Sporting Lisbon? I'd say yes. It won't be easy. We ain't smoking them like we did last time. But I would tip us to get past Sporting Lisbon. Yeah. Leicester won it with Kante. Wenger was stupid not taking it. Yeah. Took Granit Xhaka instead. Barcelona have a scary attack, but they've never had to face a world-class defense structure. We have. I think when we get through to the semis, Arteta will go haram and counter-attack. Or we might do to Barcelona what we did to Real Madrid. It could be that kind of sayings. I mean, something like that wouldn't surprise me. I look forward to your video when you win on Sunday. As annoying as Arsenal fans can be, we can just be as annoying, so enjoy the moment. Well, yeah, I'm gonna this weekend tomorrow. I'm gonna vlog. I'm gonna do a daily vlog, and then so I'm gonna vlog basically what I'm up to all day tomorrow, and then I'm gonna vlog obviously Sunday, and then I'm gonna combine it. You know, regardless of if we win or lose, you know what I mean, I'm gonna be putting it up. And in terms of going live, I might even go live on my phone. It depends. Well, I'll have to see. You know what I mean? If we win it, I might go live straight away on my phone, and you stream me out from my phone. And it just depends. I'll have to see. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be. I'll do a vlog and I'll upload it to the channel of my weekend in London, final weekend in London. You know what I mean? But yeah, hopefully on Sunday I'm celebrating that we've won our first League Cup since 1993. You know what I mean? 33 years. Yeah, 33 years. You know what I mean? We need to be stacking these EFL Cups, man. We need to be stacking these now. Yeah? And if we win this, next season we go retain it. Yeah? We've retained the league title in our history. Yeah? We've retained FA Cups in our history. We just never retained any European trophies or the EFL Cup. You know what I mean? Take a 1-1 draw away at Sporting and beat them 2-0 at home. If we can snatch a 1-0 out there, take that back to the Emirates, that would be sweet. Take a 1-0 at least. You know what I mean? A 2-0 would be magnificent. Or shall I say 3-0? You know what I mean? Without any doubt, Sporting Lisbon is nothing without Amorim. To be honest, I don't know how good they are. I don't know what they're doing in their league. I know they've got that Suarez guy who replaced Gyökeres. I know they've got him scoring left, right, and centre. You know what I mean? But nobody's falling for it because everyone's looking at, you know, the signings that came from Portugal that they were killing it out there, but they're not killing it so much in England. And they're like, we ain't falling for the same scam. I do want to play Barcelona because then Man used to stop it. Yeah, I know. I want Barcelona in semis. If we get to the semi-finals, I want Barcelona. I want Barcelona. If we get to the semis. Are you going to the League Cup final? I'm not going to the game, unfortunately. The tickets are too damn expensive. If I was to sit with the City fans, yeah, them tickets are cheap or were cheap. But I ain't doing that. I'm gonna be in Shoreditch watching it in the fan park with my brother. So I'll be with a gang of Arsenal fans. I'll be with there'll be a whole crew of Arsenal fans, a whole place full of Arsenal fans. I'll be in there. But I'm gonna be vlogging anyway. I'm gonna be vlogging, so I'll show you guys what's going on. And you'll see it on when it's uploaded. Barcelona play high line. Trust me, Arsenal press. They'll beat them 3-0 away. I don't know. Barcelona will probably. Teams are too wary of us. I think they'll just get wary and they'll avoid the high line. But we'll have to see. Coca-Cola Cup days. First time in 66 years. First and second. Yeah. Since Aston Villa versus Rotherham. 1960. YG, the way Newcastle played against Barcelona was so bad in the second half. They thought they could go toe-to-toe on football, won over knockouts. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. If you're going to go toe-to-toe with a team like that, you have to have the players that's going to deal with them. And Newcastle, it looked like they swung their power punches in the first round. I mean, and then they just got gassed out. I've been to that Box Park in Shoreditch to watch games, and Wembley 1-2, decent place. I've been to the Box Park in Wembley, not to watch football though, but that's the only Box Park I've been to. But yeah, this Shoreditch place should be a decent turnout. Big up from Antigua. Come on, you Gunners, let's win this first trophy and definitely show the other teams and their fans how serious we are. Big up to Super So Sick. Yeah, I mean, on Sunday, we must. We must. Honestly, we must. When Newcastle players were surprised, speaks Premier League quality as they play low block all season. Newcastle lost Tonali, so they couldn't stop them. And hopefully Tonali is going to be ours. You know what I mean? Hopefully he's going to be ours. Anyways, let me see what's happening with we don't need to go on to way. Oh, let me put that in my watch later. So let's go back in time, guys. Let's go back in time. No, it's the full thing. So this is the thing. This is the thing, right? And I pointed this out to my brother. Yeah. When we beat Man City in 2017 in an FA Cup semi-final, I don't think Arteta was there yet in terms of Pep's actual number 2. Because I think he got, if I'm not mistaken, he got promoted. And when he got promoted, I think it was after that. Let me just have a look. Because there's a bit of a goofy thing with this. There's a bit of goofiness with let me just have a look. Because you know how Arteta's got this record at Wembley that I was never lost at Wembley as a player and manager. Yeah. I mean, oh, I can't see the. There we are. Shit, you need to do that. I'm not sure if he was Pep's actual number 2, yeah. So this is when Aguero scores. I just want to see the replay when does it show Pep celebrating or anything like that? No, it doesn't. Monreal with a goal. Fucking missed that guy. Sanchez with the winner. No, it's not showing, because here's the thing, guys. Yeah. When Arteta stopped being Pep's number 2, that's when Pep started losing at Wembley. So it's almost like Arteta was his lucky charm. Yeah? Because let's face it, remember what I told you guys about the Community Shield curse? A team that wins the Community Shield usually doesn't really follow it on and does anything. For example, Man City won the EFL Cup in 2018. Obviously, they won the league. And then they played in the Community Shield because they won the league in 2018. Going into 2018-19 season, they played Chelsea in the Community Shield. They won that 2-0. But then that season, they won a domestic treble. EFL Cup, league title, FA Cup. Arteta was his number 2. And then they won a Community Shield after that in 2019-20 season. And obviously they won the EFL Cup in 2020. Well, Arteta stopped being his number 2 in late 2019. Pep then loses at Wembley in the 2020 FA Cup semi-final. And then after that, 2021, Pep won the EFL Cup. And then Leicester won the FA Cup in 2021. Then Pep lost 3 Community Shields in a row. And he stopped winning the EFL Cup from 2022. And then obviously he's in the final now. But the point I'm saying is to say that when Arteta was his number 2, yeah, I think that unbeaten record that Arteta has at Wembley, that was still there with him. You know what I mean? No, I don't have a ticket. I wish I had a ticket. You know what I mean? Pep is therefore starting Donnarumma in the final. He's doing this goofy ass mind games again, saying Trafford starting 2 days before. Yeah, he's starting Donnarumma, man. You know what I mean? And let's put it this way. If he starts Donnarumma, that tells me he thinks he's finished as a manager. Yeah. Now, the starting 11 for us, yeah, I would still start Kepa in goal. But if he starts Raya, I ain't gonna complain. But I personally would still start Kepa. We're still good enough to win that. Yeah. Then I would probably I'd start Mosquera at right back, because I'm not even for rushing Timber back unless him resting the other day was basically, a case of, I could play at a stretch, but I'm not going to, kind of thing. Otherwise, I go with Timber at right back, Saliba, Gabriel, and Capier. And then in midfield, I mean, Zubimendi had a good game against Leverkusen. There's no way Arteta's not going to play Zubimendi. So it's going to be Zubimendi, Rice, and then Eze. And then the front three will be Saka, Gyökeres, and it's either going to be Trossard or Martinelli. And that team's good enough to beat Man City. You know what I mean? Tonali's perfect party replacement. It will cost 100 million, but worth it because Zubimendi is very suspect and inconsistent. If we get Tonali in, hopefully Zubimendi gets moved further forward or something. You know what I mean? What about MLS? Well, he ain't going to start him, but him being a number 6, I'm here for it. But he's just not going to get the chance. You know what I mean? Mosquera versus Doku. Just we don't want anything rash from Mosquera as such. You know, but Mosquera, he hasn't really put a foot wrong too much. Whenever he has, he's always recovered from it. So, you know, Nkapie is good. Yeah, he is. He is, definitely is, man. But let me just go back to what I was going to. So, yeah. Guardiola's first English trophy. Arsenal 0, Man City 3, Carabao Cup final highlights. Yeah. So look how spineless this gimp was. Yeah. Let me share my screen. I can't play it for obvious reasons. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, look at this spineless moron in Mustafi. Yeah. Let me in fact, because my TV is quite big. Oh no, it's not on that side. It's on this side. Need to slow it down. Right. Now look at this. This was a whole assist from Bravo, you know. Yeah. Let's just recap. 2018 Cup final. Yeah. And I could have gone to this game, by the way. I could have gone to this game. I'm glad I didn't. I changed my mind during the week. I think the Monday going into that week, I changed my mind. I texted a guy saying I'm not going. Don't want to go. I knew this was going to happen. That we'll get beat like this because of the way we've been playing. Now look at Mustafi. Aguero literally waits for Mustafi to go into him. Mustafi, spineless. Yeah? Look at that. Gabriel would never. Even though Gabriel, you know, we've seen some things from Gabriel where you think to yourself,
you don't find that suspicious.
You know what I mean? But nothing as bad as this. Look at that. Look at that. And Mustafi's there crying. It's too late. Look at that. Ridiculous. And we know what happened there, don't we? We know what happened there. You know what I mean? Dinosaur arms weren't going to save that. Look at that. Lifted over him. I swear this was the first time that Carabao got the rights to this competition, the branding of the name. I'm sure Carabao. Oh no, I think it was before that actually. I don't know. Fuck it. And then this one, Vincent Kompany from a corner, set piece, you know. And look where Leroy Sané was. You know what I mean? VAR didn't do shit. VAR was like, yeah, it's cool. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Right? Watch how hard City celebrate. Yeah? Watch how hard they celebrate. Look how hard these men celebrate. Yeah? But if we beat them on Sunday, we're going to get cussed for celebrating remotely like this. Yeah? Look how hard these men celebrating. Yeah? We'll get cussed if we celebrate like this, if we win on Sunday. Because what will they say to us? Oh, it's only a League Cup, mate. It's only a fizzy drink cup. You know what I mean? Celebrating bare hard, jumping for joy and everything like that. You know what I mean? Because that's the face of a happy man. I mean, yeah, don't nobody tell me that this cup don't matter. Yeah, because it clearly matters. It clearly matters to him, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Clearly matters to him. And then David Silva. Look at that. Look at that. Spineless. You know what I mean? That was what we were dealing with back in the day. Yeah? That's what we were dealing with. Shambles. You know what I mean? Arteta was a major influence in English top tier advisor to Pep. Let's be glad we don't have anyone from that 2018 team still available, yeah? When did Saka start? What you mean, like start ever? Saka broke through, it was under Unai Emery. He was playing at left back and shit. And he scored in the FA Cup running to us winning it in 2020. Jesus Christ, that defence we used to have still gives me nightmares. Exactly. You know what I mean? You would only hope that on Sunday it's nothing like this. Absolute shambles. You know what I mean? That's absolute shambles. That. No, it was Ospina. David Ospina. Wenger defence in Emirates era saw championship level at best, flipping neck. Yeah. That's why getting top 4 was celebrated so hard. Because he did it with that. You know what I mean? Ridiculous. It's not a Mickey Mouse Cup, man. But that's what they'll say. You need to play back this to them fake fans. Yeah. You know what I mean? Absolute shambles. Let me go back to the Aguero goal. You know what I mean? Absolute shambles. Look at that, man. Look at that. At Wembley, you know. You know what I mean? Absolute shambles. Absolutely got spun out here. That's what Dorman does the dribbles and scores in the final, shooting into his faces. I fucking love that, man. Imagine Dorman cutting in on his left from the right and squeezing it bottom corner. Jesus. It rouse people so much seeing Arsenal fans and players, managers celebrating. It's hilarious. Yeah. But yeah, if we were to win this, we'll get cussed. You'll get man like Keith Thomas talk about, oh, you only look how they're celebrating the Mickey Mouse Cup. Watch. Just watch. Even Pep values this cup. Yeah. He ain't gonna want to lose this cup for shit. I think he should have left in 2014 after winning the FA Cup. We've got, yeah. Didn't Emery introduce Saka to? Yeah, it was Emery. It was Emery first. But yeah, it's an absolute shambles. That took allowing Saka and Rice to rest works better for us as a top manager. IG, he even said he won't rule out choosing Dalman for. Yeah, so he's resting Saka and Rice. He's not taking them. We've been in League Cup finals more than anyone and not won it. That's how shameful Wenger was to not win it. Yeah, we've only won it twice. And we've been runners-up the most times of all teams that won it. Ridiculous. You know who else does that? Hazard and Gabriel Jesus with Man City. With Arsenal, he doesn't do it. That more. Tuchel showing Arteta levels how to manage rotation. Yeah, somebody needs to teach him. You know what I mean? So let me show you guys another Actually, it should be in my history. It should be in my history, but I've watched a lot of things since then. Here we are. Yeah, so I'm on it now. Right. So I found the clip that shows the hardcore celebrations from watch how hard these men celebrate. Company puts City 2-0 up in the EFL Cup final. Look how hard these men celebrate. Yeah? Look how hard these men celebrate. Look at that. Bear in mind, these men have won 2 EFL Cups prior to this, an FA Cup prior to this, and 2 league titles prior to this. So this is not their first EFL. This is not their first trophy or anything like that. It was just Guardiola's. Yeah. And this is how these men celebrate. Now on Sunday, yeah, if we were to win this, which I do think we will, and we celebrate hardcore like this, just watch the grief we'll get. But yeah, look at this. Look at this. Obviously, it means a lot to them because last time we faced them at Wembley, we beat them in the FA Cup semi-final. You know what I mean? So it was a case of they didn't want a repeat of that. But look how happy they are. Everybody jumping in. You even got Gabriel Jesus there. Look how happy they are. Look at that. 2-0 up. Look how happy they are. You know what I mean? See how happy they are. Damn! Just remember on Sunday, guys, if we do this, we're getting ripped for doing this on Sunday. We're gonna get torn a new one for daring to celebrate anything like this. So I just showed that just to, you know, put it out there that look, you know, that should have fire in all our bellies. We should go on and win this competition on Sunday now. That's what it should be. Them haters, they all want to win this trophy too on them fake YouTube cooks. YG buying Real Madrid and Barca League Cup equivalent in their own league, but clubs and fan players never downplay because they appreciate and want to win everything. We need the same. Yeah, I mean, we know how it is in England, innit? You know what I mean? The League Cup trophy is the smallest trophy in terms of the size of it. You know what I mean? That enables fans to devalue it as it is. You know what I mean? They're liars, just got signed. They care about this cup. This is Pep's cup. Guardiola loses it. He'll therefore leave YG. He already is becoming a shadow of his former self. Yeah, this is the thing. He's becoming a shadow of his former self. Let's hope that we put the final nail in the coffin. Pip him to this cup. Pip him to the league title. Game over. You know what I mean? It's the least this manager could do at this point. He left Guardiola for a reason. Yeah? The least he could do. You know what I mean? He was under him, now destroy him. I hope we win, but I'm scared because it's City in the final, and that's one team I hate facing as long as Guardiola is there. Yeah, I mean, we faced him once in a final under Guardiola, you know, and it didn't go good for us, but honestly, these men have to. They've just got to. They have to get over the line, man. They have to. sleep mode's turned on my phone. So, yeah. But yeah, we must. I understand people being a bit prang of Man City, but you know, why do you hope you have a good time in London, win or lose? Well, big up to you. Big up to you. I will have a good time in London, but if we lose, it's going to be depressing. You know what I mean? I'm not back till Monday. It's going to be depressing. You know what I mean? For real, they'll put 500% compared to facing Real Madrid like Spurs do. Yeah, that this is not going to be a rollover. I'm only predicting 2-0 because I do. It's going to be a 2-0 where probably a little bit similar to the Leverkusen game when we beat them 2-0. It might go a little something like that, but I feel I'm being a bit dangerous in predicting 2-0 because I'm basically saying we're keeping a clean sheet and we're stopping them from scoring at Wembley, which we've done it before, like stop them from scoring, but yeah, it's one of them where it's like it's not no Community Shield now, like 2014 when we beat them 3-0 at Wembley. The day Arteta gets the handbrake off, the rivals will go mental and can't take it because his team can score 10-0 every game. I mean, like I said, if this game's going to be the game where the handbrake comes off and we smoke these man like 3-0 or something, fam, I mean, my confidence would be through the roof that we're going to see out this season with a league title to our name. You know what I mean? I hate how every time a team faces us, it's like they do their homework. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. They know exactly what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and everything. I just hope that whatever game plan we've got, it gets executed to perfection on Sunday. But yeah, anyways, guys, I'm going to leave it here for this match preview. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, follow all the socials, links in the description below. Hype the video. And yeah, guys, I will see you on Sunday. Well, I'm going to be vlogging tomorrow. But I won't upload it until it's all done in terms of like the whole weekend. Or I might, depending on, I don't know, depending on what we do tomorrow. I don't know if I'll do a vlog for what I'm getting up to in London tomorrow and then just do a separate vlog for the day on Sunday. I don't know, but either way, guys, you know, I'll see you guys for the match reaction of the EFL Cup final, to which hopefully we're celebrating that we're champions of something. You know what I mean? Hopefully we're celebrating that, look, we're champions of the EFL Cup, blah, blah, blah. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. If we smoke them, we will get treble for real, confidence through the roof. Well, I tip us for the FA Cup. If we get past Southampton, I'm tipping us for the FA Cup. Have a good night, YG. Big up to all yous that came in Sunday watch along. No, I'll be watching it in the fan park. I'll be watching it in the fan park, but I'll be vlogging, but I won't be streaming live or anything like that. But I'll be vlogging. But yeah, I'll be doing a watch along. Forest will smash Spurs. Kingsley confirmed in net for them. Oh yeah, I think Vicario's having an operation, isn't he? So yeah, that's gonna be jokes. Anyways, guys, I'll see you on Sunday for the match reaction. Hopefully, we're partying. Hopefully, we're partying because we've won the trophy. Hopefully, but we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. Why are you gonna have a nice drink after the final? Yeah, I'm gonna do something anyway. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do something if we win that. Anyways, guys, I might go. No, I don't think I'll go live again tonight because I was gonna say I'll do some FIFA streaming, but I don't know. But anyways, guys, I'll see you on Sunday See you on Sunday around approximately, the game's at 4:30. So approximately after 7, but if it goes to extra time and pens, fuck me. You know what I mean? But yeah, guys, catch you in the next one. Peace.
And if anyone wants to have a come at me,
Come and find me. I'm in the car park now.
because I'm a black belt in karate,
Stop the cap.
come and have a pop.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.